motive. Whoa, wait.
We come upon the Star Wars trilogies, and what are we at? Almost 50 years? Let's just pretend it's been 50 years of Star Wars. So what do we have in all this? Okay, we have Star Wars, the original trilogy, right? We got the prequels, 1, 2, and 3. What else we got? We got all kinds of stuff here. We got the Clone Wars, Dave Filoni's stuff. We got Rebels. Look at all the Rebels stuff we got. This is relevant. And we got, let's see, Dark Horse, the beginnings of the Jedi, the first chapters of Star Wars. We got the last chapters of Star Wars, Kate Skywalker and Nia Solo. We got alternate universe. Well, we'll get into that in a moment. There's some more of it. Here is a story that crosses all the eras of Star Wars, Vector. And I don't mind telling you, it's been almost 50 years of half a century of this work. Now, I won't go over the woke, obvious parts, the anti-misogyny movies that would be the Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. We know where we stand with that. It's a lot of noise, right? I tuned out after the first movie. I went to go see the second one, and to my regret, The Last Jedi was as bad as I could ever hope it to be. Aside from that, beside the Force's female, Kathleen Kennedy, Bob Iger, George Lucas was tired of dealing with Star Wars, and he didn't have enough money. If you go back to Ian McKellen's, the producer's rants about needing enough money, because you go back to Star Wars Underworld, Star Wars Detours, and those IGN interviews. Those are the last two times Ian McKellen had talked. Or Rick McCallum. I'm sorry, Rick McCallum. I think Rick McCallum was the producer for Fox and for Star Wars, and he had talked about Star Wars Detours and Star Wars Underworld, which later became The Mandalorian. So here we have all these spin-offs. The thing is that Star Wars is assume the one canon universe, right? Ninja Turtles has many universes. He-Man has many universes, right? Sonic the Hedgehog, Archie Sonic. There's multiple Mario stories, multiple Batman, multiple Superman, multiple Spider-Man throughout the Spider-Verse, right? Alternate Justice League stories. Some take place in a different time, different universe. But for Star Wars, it's been one canon, right? The only exceptions have been stories where, what if the trilogy was different? In the case of Star Wars Infinities, in which Luke would die on Hoth, Leia would fight Vader, and Vader would die. Vader would turn white, get white armor after fighting and killing the Emperor, right? Han is blind. And then there's the Star Wars, which was the rough draft of the 1974 rough draft that would turn to 1977 classic. When you look at THX 1138, some of those ideas that could have been in A New Hope were in that movie. So, George Lucas, there were many stories about him wanting to get his own museum and make it right, not having enough money. Fans hated the prequels. It could be a little bit of all of those explanations as to why he ended up selling to Disney instead of giving it to his kids or whatever he did. Could have sold it to Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni couldn't afford it. So here we are where we're at right now. And I will say Ahsoka has gotten good reviews, received good reviews and bad reviews. You know who's giving it the bad reviews. You know who's giving it the good reviews. Ultimately, I would say it's not good because you still have to get Disney Plus to actually watch it. It's not going to end up on the open market. Some things from Netflix might end up on the open market. Some things from Paramount has ended up on the open market. Some things from Max, HBO Max, Warner Brothers. But Disney stuff is always locked behind a paywall, and I hate that. So that's why I can't like Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is shit because it's inaccessible. I don't want to have to pay a subscription service. I don't want to commit to so much money a month. I don't feel like it. How about you put it on DVD or digital on demand, and I'll buy it that way. That's how I feel. I'll make my own decision. And some people have said Ray Stevenson's great as like an inquisitor. His apprentice is great. Ahsoka's episode 5 was very, very good. The Ezra Bridger and I forgot her name. I know there's Hera. Sabine Wren. Sabine Wren. Where is? I'm sorry. Is he dead? I know he's dead, but is what's his name dead? I know he was in the Mandalorian. The character was in Mandalorian. Zeb. Is Zeb dead? Why isn't Zeb in this story? Why isn't Zeb in here? Where's Zeb at? Surely he's not that far gone that he wouldn't have helped Sabine out. If Sabine had asked Zeb for help, Zeb would have shown up. And I don't know where Chopper is. Maybe Chopper's somewhere. I think Chopper's somewhere taking a powder. But let me tell you what will probably happen in 10 years, okay? We're getting to the Grim Reaper or the Reboot Reaper, okay? In the case of this is Old Yeller. Old Yeller being the Star Wars movies and stuff. The Star Wars continuity is 50 years old. And you think about it, it's like this timeline where you have 1, 2, and 3 things. Or maybe the 1, 2, and 3 happen in this long timeline. Now you move that aside, you put the prequels here. Now you move that aside a bit, you put the Knights of the Old Republic stuff here. And you put the Darth Plagueis stuff here. And then you got the Dawn of the Jedi, even way, way over there is the Dawn of the Jedi. And then over there is Legacy, Kate Skywalker and Nia Solo. And you got the new Jedi Order. And then you got this and that and the other thing. But now it's all Legends. So now you move that aside. You put the Disney trilogy, the Skywalker saga here. Okay. And you got Rebels in between 3 and 4. So there's the prequels. Here's the original. You put that over here. You put this over here. And it's like putting books on a shelf. And all these books will crowd. It's like my DVD collection. You see how messy my DVD collection is. And at some point, it's like, and I know with Star Wars theory, he cares more about Anakin Skywalker than anything else. Okay, I see where his bias comes in. But I don't want to know what Darth Vader is doing every fucking day of his life. I don't really care. And I don't care what Ahsoka is doing every day of her life. There are some problems, particularly with the Elon Musk, the Chiss commander. What's his fucking face? Thrawn, right? Thrawn. Okay, he's kind of fat. The Sabine Ezra reunion wasn't all that it could have been. Maybe it's like George Lucas would have done the same thing with Anakin and his mother saying goodbye. I don't know. I don't know what it could have been more of. But here we are. We're on the, how many now? The 4th, maybe 5th Star Wars live action TV show. We've had 4 cartoons, right? 4 cartoon series and about 4 TV shows as far as I can tell. Not including the Skeleton Crew, which that's in the back burner. This continuity is getting old, and we all know it is. And it's only a matter of time, I would say in the next 10 years or more, that we're going to see a new Luke Skywalker, a new Darth Vader, a new Leia, a new Han Solo, a new Chewie, a new R2-D2, a new Anakin Skywalker, a new Mace Windu and Yoda and the Jedi Council, a new Coruscant, a new Darth Plagueis. And that'll be within Disney's complete creative control to do whatever the fuck they want, which they probably should have done to begin with. Just leave the old canon alone, make your own new Luke Skywalker, right? But why not piss all over the original one, which was easier to do? Because you look at the Resistance rides and everything, the how many years old? A few years, 5 years old? No, I mean, I went, that place is as old as my birthday was. It's 4 years old. That Star Wars, that whole Star Wars park. And it's not holding on too tight to the original, or the 6 movies, I should say, and the Clone Wars. So a reboot is going to happen sooner or later. A reboot, much like J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, right? You go back to J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, and it was like, that was the reboot. Most people don't agree with it. I'm okay with it. Look, Ben Burt, the guy who designed the Star Wars, he agreed with it. That's why he did the sound for Star Wars, for Star Trek 2009. Ben Burt, your favorite sound effects guy, the one who did the lightsabers, he did the sound for Star Trek 2009. Yep, sure did. So he believed in the project, and I believed in it. At first I didn't, and I warmed up to it. But here's the thing. even if J.J. Abrams wouldn't have done a reboot, Rick Berman would have done it. And if not Rick Berman, Quentin Tarantino, somebody would have done a reboot of Star Trek. It would have been somebody. Tag, you're it. You're the guy that has to reboot everything. It's the inevitable reaper that's going to kill off original Star Wars, okay? We've had so many versions of Batman, Superman, Sonic the Hedgehog, He-Man, Skeletor, Ninja Turtles, every new Sherlock Holmes, every new Wizard of Oz, every new Alice in Wonderland, that a reboot for Star Wars with the same characters from the original 6 movies coming back, a new Ahsoka, would have been inevitable. Maybe Ahsoka and Anakin would have been boyfriend and girlfriend when they were maybe they're the same age. I don't know. That'd be weird, but that's another continuity. You have the world between worlds. That's always used as an excuse to say, hey, maybe we should reboot everything. Maybe we should reboot it all. You can only put shelf space for all this continuity before you run out of shelf space. Yeah, you can make more, but at some point the canon will contradict itself, and then you're like, but in the book this was this, but not in the movie. But even though Disney said this is all wound tight, all the cogs and gears are in place. You put the cogs and gears in place. All the puppets are in the right place. The movement's right. But it's gonna be tight where you can't do anything more. You're gonna chronicle every single day before the Battle of Yavin and after the Battle of Yavin, or whatever they try to do a new timeline writing. It's just gonna be pointless now. So that's all I got to say about that. We'll do some Lego Star Wars. I got the last of my DLC tonight. It took me days because I have slow internet. All right, and I'm not sure, but I may do another week of these. Let me know what you think. I'll be getting views for these. So tomorrow will be the Saturday morning stuff. We've only got a few more to go, and then more surprises, more things to look at. All right.